This is what we've all been waiting for here today. Thank you all so much for joining us down here. It has been awesome. I wish I had more. I think Pam went and got some more brats. I think she got some more brats.
She did.
She did? So we got more brats down here for you guys. Come on down. Yahoo! Did you hear that? That is so cool. And for whatever reason, she's still on the line. Now it's on hold for me. I think I can get it. Hi, you're on the air with KGEZ. Is this Dr. Paul?
This is Dr. Paul. For calling me.
Congressman Ron Paul, Dr. Paul, I can't wait till the day I can call you Mr. President.
Well, that would be nice. Thank you.
We had a little scheduling problem here this morning. We have got literally hundreds of people standing out here around this radio station in the building, supporting you here in Montana. They're out by the freeway with their signs, support Ron Paul for president. We played your entire speech, or most of it, we could get over the internet from the Clemson University. They were streaming that.
Oh, wow. That's pretty modern technology, isn't it?
Isn't that great? And
that is fantastic.
And I know you're probably talked out, but you hit on so many points that are so important to Americans, not just Montanans, but Montanans. We've got an online poll here at KGEZ. Who would you vote for president? And we list them all, Democrats and Republicans. You polled 73%.
You know, Congressman Rehberg is a good friend of mine, and he keeps telling me, boy, he says, I see a lot of your signs up there. You have a lot of support up there. When are you coming up?
That's what we keep being asked today. When are you coming up?
Yeah,
and
well, hopefully we can get there.
The phenomena, Dr. Paul, is your love for the Republic is matched by ours. It's the Republic that we're trying to restore.
And, you know, to me, it's so impressive that we bring so many different people together, and it's not just conservative Republicans or liberal Democrats. We bring them all together, and to me, that means the message of freedom is a uniter, and that the Constitution brings us together. And I see the opposite when you look at welfare and socialism. When the government tells us what to do and they divide up the wealth, we then have to go to Washington and compete. And then if our production goes down, all of a sudden people get really antsy about it. And I think that's what's happening right now. People know this country is not as wealthy as it used to be. And the statistics are starting to show that people are really worried about the economy, and they know that the government is not a very good manager, and people can manage their own affairs so much better. And that's why I argue the case for responsibility, but also the idea of being able to keep what you earn. You know, you ought to be able to keep the fruits of our labor, which would challenge both our tax system as well as our monetary system.
Well, speaking of our monetary system, I mean, every day I have to come into this station and report record new lows for the dollar, highs for the oil. And we're not dumb. We see what they're doing. They're inflating this fiat currency beyond anything that's sustainable. It's going to collapse, or our standard of living is diving every day.
You know, to me it's astounding. I, even in that speech, mentioned that I didn't know if people would be open to these ideas, but so many people have understood the monetary policy, but they had no place to go. They've generally just sort of dropped out because nobody was talking about it. But I think this is one time in over 100 years where anybody has been able to bring up the monetary issue in a significant fashion in a presidential campaign. And I think that must mean the time is right and the conditions are such, and we have a message. Of course, the message is not complicated. Why don't we just look to the Constitution and find out what we're supposed to do?
You know, and so many of these candidates that tried to pass the amnesty bill for illegal aliens, and we don't have the problem here yet in Montana, but it's showing up over and over and over as the construction industry collapses and they're all looking for jobs. But they turn around and diss us like we're idiots, and this is not a problem. They're saying, well, no one's really talking about deportation and you know, getting rid of the illegals in our country. And go, well, yeah, about 98% of us are. You guys aren't, but 98% of Americans are.
That's right. And all this stuff comes to an end if we don't solve our financial crisis. Because if we don't get our financial house in order, then you have a dollar crisis, and that is the big one. You know, other countries lose their government. The government is the collapse of the political system if you have runaway inflation. And most people think, oh, no, that's not likely. It's not going to come here. But statistically and historically, it always comes when countries do to their currency what we're doing, so we ought to correct it before we have the problem.
On the trail, do you get a chance to talk to the other candidates that are running for the office? Do you ever chat a little bit at all? Because they have got to notice what is happening to your campaign wherever they go. They're saying there was vote for Ron Paul signs at the Democratic debate.
Yeah, they're starting to make comments, and like I said at the speech, that the members of Congress are starting to say, "Oh, we see your son," and they suspect something's going on. And many members of Congress, sort of can float back and forth whatever they think the persuasion is by the people. So I think they'll come our way. Once the stronger we get, and the more votes we can get, the more people are going to say, the members of Congress, and say, "Hey, we better pay more attention to what's going on." And the fundraising is a significant event. You can say we have a lot of supporters, but unless they're really there, unless they really can vote, unless they really send money, you're not existent. But I think they're starting to pay a lot more attention, and now that we're getting these special interviews and getting on shows like Leno, this helps our campaign a whole lot.
Well, you've got tremendous support here in Montana, and in fact, today we're doing a fundraiser for you here at the station, and we're going to be FedExing all those donations off to your headquarters tonight.
Oh, that's wonderful, and I want to thank everybody. Are they listening to what I'm saying now? Or
absolutely. We're beaming it outdoors. They're all standing out with their Ron Paul for President signs and by the freeway and inside the building. So if you could say a special message to these listeners and thanking them for what they've done, because they've never met you. They've seen you on TV. They've read your speeches and heard your speeches, and we do so much of them down here to tell the public about this man. And it's not, I don't want to belittle you at all, but it's the message that you're promoting. It's not, the messenger, and I'm glad you are the messenger, but it's the message that is resounding so much with the young people and the old people, and it's phenomenal. It's absolutely phenomenal that this is what we have to do. America needs a doctor.
Yeah, and I do appreciate, and all those in attendance, I want to express my deep appreciation. You're absolutely right. I make this point all the time. It is the message that really counts, and it's a powerful message, it's a popular message, it's a practical message, it's the message of America, so we should be very pleased with this. And people have come, and they have joined, and it's really not so much, people give me credit for starting this, quote, revolution. In essence, though, the revolution was started, the people were ready for it. I sort of maybe turned on the switch. So I very sincerely say that I have joined all of you who are participating in this revolution. And let's keep it going. Let's keep it above board and peaceful, and work hard, because we can win this fight if we put the right effort into it.
And I think we can restore America to greatness. We're the great middle class, where we could raise our families and not be dependent upon government, and not even seek government help. All this foreign intervention, this endless war that they're already telling you, well, we're going to redeploy some more in 2010, and this group's battalion's getting geared up for 2011. I go, what is this? We've been at war with Iraq for 16 years.
Yeah, it just goes on, and I'm trying to stop it before the financial collapse comes, but the financial collapse will come. That's what generally happens with countries that try to run an empire because they can't afford it. But the indication I have is our numbers are growing, and I deeply appreciate everybody's support.
You can leave anytime you have to do. I know your schedule's tight, so you just give us a signal anytime somebody's pulling you away or something.
Okay, I will be needing to go. Why don't we close it down about 60 seconds if you have another question or two. But I indeed really appreciate all their efforts. So much of it is spontaneous, and that to me makes me feel good, rather than thinking other campaigns have come and they snoop around and they say, how do you organize the internet? And they have money, it's all centralized, it's all top down. And ours has been exactly the opposite. It's grassroots up, and they more or less find the campaign, and they come for the message. They hear the message, and I say, oh, he stands for coming home from the war and sound money and no income tax. All of a sudden it perks up their ears, and they read further, and then they come. But it is a powerful message, and everybody should rally behind this and feel comfortable about it.
Are you being provided enough Secret Service?
Well, we don't have that, and it hasn't been requested, and it may come later, but right now I haven't thought much about it.
Dr. Paul, we are all praying for you and the message and you can count on Montana for solid support. We are doing everything possible here at this radio station. All of our listeners are fully involved with your campaign, and you've got a great state campaign chairman by the name of David Hart right here in the studio with us now, and I want to thank him and your entire staff for allowing us to share your limited time.
Very good, and thanks for having me on.